Hello, good evening, everyone. So once again, I welcome all of you in today's current affairs. Okay, so today is 1st December 2025. Okay, in today's The Hindu newspaper, I have got some great articles for you. Although there was not much in today's The Hindu newspaper, but still some good articles were there which can enhance your general knowledge for some different purposes. Okay, like today I have taken one topic, that is Cyclone Ditwah. Okay, the first topic which I had taken today is about Cyclone Ditwah. Okay, then the second topic is Overturning of Judgements. This is related to Judiciary. Okay, then Citizenship Scrutiny. This is in light of the special intensive revision of electoral rolls, okay, and election commission's role. And then AIDS and TB. This is related to how we were successful in controlling the spread of AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, okay, and how we have to follow a collaborated approach with relation to TB also to eliminate TB by 2030. Then foreign portfolio investors withdrawals and how it is impacting Indian markets. And then next I will be discussing police reforms. Only few things which I will discuss regarding police reforms, but I will highlight almost all the issues which are there in the police side of the administration. Okay, so starting with the first topic today, Cyclone Ditwah. Okay, Cyclone Ditwah. The heading is Cyclone Ditwah weakens. Weakens means the wind speed is consistently now dropping, and also the devastation caused by this cyclone is also reducing day by day. Get the point? Now, first of all, I want you to know what is Ditwah, why this name, and how do we name cyclones. And first of all, I want you to understand what actually cyclones are. Okay, the first topic, I want you to understand that what cyclones are. Okay, suppose I will tell you in a very layman's term so that you can remember it. Okay, suppose this is a sea surface or ocean surface. Let us consider it Bay of Bengal side. Okay, Bay of Bengal. Okay, because mostly if you see on Indian subcontinent, mostly cyclones are formed on this Bay of Bengal side. Why cyclones are formed mostly on Bay of Bengal side? Because temperature relative to Bay of Bengal side is higher as compared to the Arabian Sea side. Okay, first thing is, for a formation of cyclone, you require very high temperature. Okay, once there is a high sea surface temperature, like I will write here, temperature is very, very high. Sea surface temperature is very, very high in these areas. Now, due to this high sea surface temperature, we get area of low air pressure. Low air pressure. Okay, low air pressure. Okay, when a low air pressure area develops here, like let us suppose here a low air pressure area developed. Okay, so air has a tendency to flow from high pressure area to low pressure area. High pressure area to low pressure area, the air always moves. The winds have a tendency to move from a high pressure area to low pressure area. Okay, wherever there is temperature on lower side, air pressure will be higher side. Okay, so winds are also flowing downwards, and also there are some forces, geographical forces called Coriolis forces, which lead to deflection of wind. Coriolis forces. Now, winds are moving this way, okay, and Coriolis forces are deflecting them this way. So, anti-clockwise swirling movement of winds start. Okay, swirling movement of winds start. Okay, so at the center, there is low pressure area. From side, winds are coming from high pressure area and they get deflected into anti-clockwise directions. Okay, so anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere, there are these wind circulations which are called as cyclones. So cyclones are rapid inward wind circulation of wind in around the low pressure area. Okay, in northern hemisphere they move in anti-clockwise direction. They move in anti-clockwise direction in northern hemisphere, whereas in the southern hemisphere they move in clockwise direction. So this is how cyclones are formed. Okay, just layman's language. This is not pure geography. I had just told you in layman's language that cyclones are basically the circular swirling motion of winds around a low pressure area. Okay, and in a anti-clockwise direction in northern hemisphere, in clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere, because Coriolis forces lead to right hand deflection and left hand deflection of winds accordingly in northern and southern hemispheres. Okay, so once cyclones are formed, mostly cyclones in this part, Bay of Bengal, are mostly they are forming more. Okay, and these are called tropical cyclones. Why? Because India lies in the tropical region. Let us suppose this is Tropic of Cancer, this is Equator, and this is Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, in geography you will know about these lines, imaginary lines, which are dividing globe in different regions. Okay, Equator dividing the complete total Earth into two hemisphere. Okay, this one the northern hemisphere, this one the southern hemisphere. This is the whole Earth. Okay, now equator between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, the region is called tropical region. This is an ideal region due to high temperature for formation of cyclones. So in the same way, Cyclone Ditwah is also a tropical cyclone. Cyclone Ditwah is also a tropical cyclone. Okay, extratropical cyclone, also known as temperate cyclones, they develop on the higher altitudes above near around the far above the Tropic of Cancer and below the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, now how do we name the cyclones? This name Ditwah is given by one country known as Yemen. Okay, the cyclone Ditwah is given by the country Yemen. Okay, next in series, the next cyclone will be named by Bangladesh. How can I say that? How can I predict this? I will tell you here the naming of cyclones. Naming of cyclones. Okay. I will tell you about naming of cyclones. Usually, there are different countries which are in the Asia Pacific region. Okay. In Asia Pacific region, in totality, there are 13 countries. There are 13 countries. These 13 countries give a pre-approved list of their names. Pre-approved list. Pre-approved list of names given by 13 countries. 13 countries in Asia Pacific region. In Asia Pacific region. Okay. Now, there are some, there are some guidelines, like you cannot use any name which is derogatory to any person. Like, 2011-12, one cyclone was named Cyclone Katrina. Get the point? So, Cyclone Katrina, so many feminists said, why cyclone named after a woman? This is degeneration. This is actually, this is misogynistic in nature. So, feminist movement, the feminist activists, criticized that naming of cyclone against the name of an individual. After that, certain guidelines was like they should not be against national symbols, they should not be against national flower or national images of any country. Okay, but then Yemen has named this cyclone Ditwah against its own lagoon, a water body which is in the Socotra archipelago. Archipelago means group of islands. Okay, so Ditwah Lagoon. Okay, it is named after Ditwah Lagoon. Ditwah is a lagoon, ecologically sensitive lagoon. Okay, saline lake. Get the point? Ditwah Lagoon. After this, Yemen has named. Okay, in alphabetical order, 13 countries, like Bangladesh will name the next one, then India, then Iran. But it is not that cyclone comes and then we name it. No, actually we have to give every year the list already in which we have said that if any cyclone occurs, from our side we recommend this name. Okay, Iran, then Maldives, Myanmar, Oman. Okay, Bangladesh, India, Iran, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Okay, then also Sri Lanka, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Thailand, United Arab Emirates and Yemen. This is how in alphabetical manner each country recommends its own, it gives a list of names for naming nomination of cyclone. Okay, this is as per the guidelines of World Meteorological Organization and UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific. World Meteorological Organization, WMO, World Meteorological Organization, and United Nations Economic and Social Commission. Okay, United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific. So in these regions, we give the nomenclature to the cyclones, and every year we suggest a list of names, pre-approved names, and these names are called as, this is how cyclones are named. Cyclones are named. Okay. Now, in order to show solidarity with the most affected country, that is Sri Lanka, India has started sending relief operations, sending relief packages to Sri Lanka under Operation Sagar Bandhu. Operation Sagar Bandhu. Sometimes easy questions in prelims, these operations are asked. Operation Sagar Bandhu is related to which? Operation Sagar Bandhu is exercise in which all the countries which are connected to each other through oceans with India, we send aid to those countries if they are in distress. So under Operation Sagar Bandhu, we have this time decided to send aid to Sri Lanka. Okay, Operation Sagar Bandhu. Now, in this article, one more term is used which I want to give you an idea about. It is saying that the speed is now declining in the Bay of Bengal region parallel to the coast of northern Tamil Nadu, Puducherry. Also, torrential rains have been brought to these areas. Now, one term which I have I am supposed to tell you is that these much people have been died, this much people remain missing in Sri Lanka, not so important. What is more important is that the speed of the cyclone, the winds is declining. For that matter, here one term is used, gale winds. One more term here which I want to highlight in this article is gale winds. Now, for understanding gale winds, we need to understand gale force. Okay, so I will tell you what is gale force or what are gale winds. Gale winds which are measured by gale force. Okay, gale winds is basically winds with strong force. Gale winds are basically measured as per strong winds. As per strong winds, gale force winds are strong winds which are generally 35 to 47 knots. Okay, gale winds 35 to 47 knots. Knots is basically the unit for measuring wind speed. Okay, which is equivalent to 63 to 87 kilometers per hour. 63 to 87 kilometers per hour. Okay, so the gale speed is actually the wind speed. Okay, strong winds which are having a speed of around 35 to 47 knots. Okay, and which is measured in terms of kilometers. It comes around 63 to 87 kilometers per hour. Okay, 3 to 87 kilometers per hour. Okay, and the uppermost limit of gale winds is called as storm. The uppermost limit of gale winds is called as a storm. Then near gale, I will tell you wind speed. If the wind speed is around only 28 to 33 knots, it is called a near gale. It is called a near gale. Okay. Then 34 to 40, it is called gale. 34 to 40, it is called gale. Okay. Then 41 to 47, 41 to 47, it is called as 41 to 47, it is called as strong gale. Strong gale. Okay. Beyond 47 knots, beyond 47 knots or beyond 87 kilometer per hour, it is called as storm. Okay. So this is how the term gale winds is important. Sometimes in news, what does it refers to? This may be a question. Okay. Sorry. So this is all you need to know about from this article. Now, the name of the cyclone, as well as the speed of the cyclone, as well as the devastation it has brought and affected area. Okay. Now, Justice B.V. Nagaratna. Justice B.V. Nagaratna is the only Chief Justice currently in Supreme Court who is women. Okay. Justice B.V. Nagaratna. Nagaratna. She today has criticized, if you remember a few days ago, I told you one judgment which overturned the judgment or which overturned the One Shakti judgment. Okay. What was One Shakti judgment? One Shakti judgment prohibited retrospective environmental clearances. Okay. So, which was recently overturned by the bench headed by recently retired Chief Justice B.R. Gavai. Okay. B.V. Nagaratna says that whenever judges are giving any judgment, if they retire, the next judges which come, they must respect the judgments of the previous judges. They must not overturn. Basically, this One Shakti judgment banned retrospective environmental clearances, and this judgment was overturned later. I have already taught this. If you have not seen, go to the previous current affairs videos. You'll get a detail of these this thing. Okay. Now, why Justice Nagaratna says so? Justice Nagaratna, the only female judge in the Supreme Court, says that we must protect the judiciary must be protected from political interference. Means we must insulate the judiciary. Insulation of judiciary. Judiciary must be completely insulated from political interferences. If they will continue to do so, if political interference will continue to occur in judiciary, then every new judge has to overturn the judgments of the previous judges. So we will never be able to focus on the new work. Okay. It also says that Supreme Court shall be, the trend of overruling the judgments shall be arrested. Trend of overruling the judgments of retired judges. Judgments of retired judges. This is a serious threat, new threat which has emerged in judiciary. So this needs to be arrested. This trend needs to be arrested. Why it needs to be arrested? Because they should have at least respect for the judges which have given those judgments, number one. And number two, every time we overturn a judgment, we open new scope for new conflicts in the judiciary. So this is another problem which has been highlighted in this article. Small article, just go through it. Okay. The second, next is Center's citizenship scrutiny power is limited, says Election Commission. Okay. Election Commission has said that Center has limited power to scrutinize the citizens. Okay. I will first of all highlight here from the polity section that citizenship in our constitution is dealt in part 2. Citizenship is dealt in part 2 of the constitution. Okay. Part 2 means article 5 to 12. Okay. Now, here in this article, what has been questioned, that how people have given their citizenship, voluntary acquiring of citizenship of another country. Any citizens who are acquiring voluntary citizenship are they the citizens of this country also, or they have lost their citizenship? In the chapter, it is said that loss of citizenship, various ways of loss of citizenship, loss of citizenship, loss of citizenship. In the Constitution says that citizenship can be lost by voluntary give up. If you give up the citizenship voluntarily, or then forcefully if you terminate, this is called renunciation. If you give up voluntarily, this is called renunciation. Okay, then termination, forcefully you have done something through which central government terminates your citizenship. Okay, then acquiring citizenship of other country means loss of citizenship. Acquiring citizenship of other country, which also means loss of citizenship. So there have been various ways of loss of citizenship mentioned. Okay, how do you get the citizenship? By birth, by descent, by acquisition of territory, or by registration, or by naturalization. So different ways of acquiring citizenship are also been mentioned in part 5. Okay, part 2 of the Constitution. But citizenship has been kept as a subject in union list. So if there is union list, means center will make laws related to citizenship. So center finally made one law that is called as ROPA Act of 1950. ROPA 1950. Okay, that is Representation of People Act. Representation of People's Act. This act deals with election commission, establishment, functioning of election commission, supervision of voter rolls, conduct of elections, allocation of seats, delimitations for Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. So everything is dealt by Representation of People's Act of 1950. It is also, it was the bill was introduced in 1950 but passed in 1951. So some books also mention it, Representation of People Act 1951. But it is basically mostly this act deals with the election related matters. Now it has also called for delimitation of constituencies. So for 1951, 62, 73, 2002, different times delimitation has taken place in the country. Okay, but what is highlighted in this article, that I have already told you, special intensive revision of electoral rules. This has been challenged in the Supreme Court by various bodies, that it is an exercise in which it is basically a bona fide, it is like National Register of Citizens, in which central government is basically checking the citizenship, or central government is basically analyzing, or central government is basically taking an account of citizenship, okay, status of the people. Now this article says that center has authority to determine when somebody has lost the citizenship, how he has lost, whether he or she can be considered as a citizen of India or not. This is the question which has been discussed. But this is the special intensive revision of electoral rolls has been criticized as de novo, a new form of National Register for Citizens. Okay, it is a basically citizen scrutiny of a kind. Okay, but Election Commission has justified in Supreme Court that we are not going to check for citizenship, although under citizenship can be accessed for the purpose of registration on electoral roll. Okay, under Article 326, Supreme Court has said that, Constitution Article 326 says that citizenship is the primary condition to be registered on voters list. Okay, so citizenship is the primary condition for being in the voters list. Even Article 326 also, 324 also says that Election Commission has been given the power to scrutinize the citizens from, and that flows from Article 324. Election Commission says from Article 324, it gets the power to scrutinize the citizens, not for the purpose of determination of citizenship, but for the purpose of formation of electoral rolls and giving only the citizen voting rights to citizens. Then Representation of People's Act has two sections. One is section 16 and one is section 19, which say that the voters of the country, those who can vote in India, must be citizens of India. Okay, and section 16 says non-citizens are disqualified from being included in the electoral rules. And they say that the special intensive revision is conducted under section 21(3) of Representation of People Act. Section 21 clause 3 of Representation of People Act says that intensively Election Commission of India shall work for validation of the voters. So it is basically a process of validation of voters. So Election Commission calls the special intensive revision of voter list as voter friendly. It is voter friendly revision. It is intensive because we want to include only those who are citizens, and it is a cooperative exercise in which citizens shall also cooperate, and it will benefit all equally. Okay, it is a cooperative exercise and will benefit all equally. So this is what has been mentioned in the this article. Okay, this is editorial from the Hindu today. Okay, then also AIDS and TB fight. Okay, what is this? One thing which has been mentioned, Tamil Nadu shows the way again, because in AIDS, Tamil Nadu has started one special exercise that is called as Tamil Nadu Special AIDS Control Societies, TNSECs, okay, which was in 1994 started by Tamil Nadu for the purpose of controlling the spread of AIDS, which spread the AIDS. First cases were from South African and Eastern African nations, but then it came to India also. Okay, although the percentage of AIDS patient in India remained below 1%, the peak percentage was 0.5%, 0.57% of global AIDS population. That was in India. And even today, we have how much population of global AIDS patients in India? Today we have only how much? 0.21%. But when we see the absolute numbers, it comes around more than 40 million people. More than 40 million people. Which means people with the disease AIDS number more than tuberculosis. But tuberculosis combined with AIDS together cause a serious threat, and the people lose usually life, because AIDS means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Immunity gets completely lost because of human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. HIV is the virus, human immunodeficiency virus, which causes acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS. Okay, now Tamil Nadu at that point of time and even today, Tamil Nadu has started a collaborative approach through regular testing, and also it is adopting technologies which will show an integrated model to deal with AIDS and TB. Because in AIDS, when someone gets the general common infection, okay, general common opportunistic infections like TB, malaria, etc., or diarrhea, for that matter, simple diarrhea can cause death of an individual if the person is suffering from AIDS, because there is no immunity, so no control of any disease. Get the point? Now there are also highlighted AIDS main cause was basically unprotected sex, and also now use of needles. In modern day, when the drug menace is across the country, that equally poses a risk of multiple usage of needles for injections, so that may cause again the spread of AIDS. Okay, National AIDS Control Project in 1992 we started, first National AIDS Control Project, for which $84 billion was given to India by World Bank. Now also in 2002 we started another AIDS control project. Okay, so what the article highlights that we need a integrated approach to deal with the epidemics. Integrated approach, and it has been started by Tamil Nadu. And also for AIDS control, Tamil Nadu took the lead. So means the main core of the article is that Tamil Nadu shows the path again how to deal with the situations. Okay, please go to this article. Next, foreign investors withdraw rupees 3,765 crores from equities market. Equities means shares. Equities means the financial securities, mainly shares, bonds, etc., etc. Okay, it means this is foreign portfolio investment. Portfolio investment means when people from abroad or companies or individuals from abroad invest in the equities, invest in the stock markets, invest in the bond markets. Okay, so from withdrawal of the foreign investment, what are the reasons? This has been highlighted. Okay, the reason is basically because of global risk. Number one, global risk of sentiment. Risk of sentiment. Consistently, the turbulence in Central Asia, Russia, Ukraine, USA imposing tariffs, that has caused global risk. Okay, so that global risk of sentiment has caused trouble for foreign investors. They are not feeling safe and secure, and they are withdrawing their investment. Again, then there is also volatility in global stocks. This is another reason. Volatility in global stocks, another reason. And then also we have preference for primary markets. Preference for primary markets. What are primary markets? Primary markets means markets like money markets, directly putting money into bank and getting interest, a safe market, rather than on secondary markets where you will purchase shares and then sell them back, then you will earn money. Okay, for that matter, in economics, markets are of two types. One is called as money market, which is called primary market, and secondary market. Secondary market is a market where you deal with shares and bonds through a mediator, like stock exchanges. Get the point? So mostly people are directly now investing into putting money into the banks and getting interest, investing in gold, investing in commodities. Okay, they are all primary markets. So secondary markets basically have become very risky for people, so they are preferencing for the primary markets. Okay, although we have seen for past 4 months there is a trouble, huge withdrawal of forex. That's why you will see the Indian stock exchanges are facing huge pressure. Sensex, Nifty, all are going down and showing that the companies in India are not performing properly, not performing well in terms of their share markets. Okay, now interesting to note here is that only in the month of October we have seen upward movement of a foreign portfolio investment in October, but in November again we have seen decline. September, August, July, these were all months when the foreign portfolio investment was consistently withdrawing. So July, August, September show downward trends in foreign portfolio investment, whereas October only there was net inflow. Otherwise, today outflow in all the 4 months. Get the point? So this is actually not a good news for the share market, but it will improve as soon as the global risks will ward off, as soon as some market reforms will take place and some global stability is arrived at. Okay. Now next. This is the last article. We need to transform the perception of police. Our Prime Minister said at one gathering, we were having All India Conference of Director Generals or Inspector Generals of Police, which was in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Okay, in that conference, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that we need to change the perception of people towards police. What is the perception of people towards police? Usually, one should always feel safe when one is around a policeman, okay, or police personnel. But what actually happens when we see police personnel, our tendency is to avoid and run away, change path. Why? Because of the insecurity which we have got. That insecurity has been ingrained into the police system in India. There were so many commissions also. Administrative Reforms Commission, Malimath Commission, Roberio Commission. They have already said that we need to make reforms in the police system. Okay, one committee which was called as Gore Committee. This was the first committee which was set up for police reforms in 1991. Gore Committee said that we need to make police towards professional and service policing is required. Professional and service oriented policing is required. This was about Gore committee. Now next, after that, we had so many other committees. Okay, right, like Rubio committee, Padmana Bhaiya committee. Okay, they all said that we need modern training and community policing. Okay, Rubio committee, Padmana Bhaiya committee. Okay, they called for professional community policing. Community policing. Okay, then latest finding was lack of personnel in the police system also. Okay, latest we have seen. Also, we are talking about smart policing. Okay, smart policing we are talking about. So all this say that the perception, public fears when a policeman is around, rather than public should feel safe when the policeman is around, because public fears so many times because of the unprofessional incidences which has happened in past. Some incidences where police has behaved very high-headedly, or police has behaved unprofessionally, which has led to great clashes among common masses and police. So that's why our Prime Minister, realizing the fact, has said that we need to transform the perception of police, particularly among the youth. We have to enhance professionalism and sensitivity and responsiveness in the police. So what is required? Professionalism, again highlighted today. Sensitiveness. Okay, this has been highlighted, and also responsiveness. Immediate responses whenever in dire need any person. Okay, so we need to reinforce the mechanisms, okay, which will already police is helping in disaster management. So many places police is coming to the forefront, but we need to further reinforce those mechanisms. This is what has been highlighted by our Prime Minister in the conference of IGs and DIGs. Okay, so this